So Kagiso says a recipient of service. That's actually a far better definition than it looks because it's broad. Bongani, a customer is the individual receiving a service from you. Yes, also brilliant. And what I like about that is that you folk are not just focusing on the external customer, you're giving customer a wider definition. Okay, so let's share it with you. Here it is. A customer is a person with whom you have dealings. Okay, so pretty close to what Bongani and Kagiso said. It is a person with whom one has dealings. It's not just a person external to your organization that you might be selling a product to. It is a person with whom one has dealings. So in our endeavors to create a customer service seminar and ultimately a customer service course, we came up with a concept which we call the customer chain. And the customer chain has two distinct categories. The one is the indirect customer and the other one is the direct customer. Now, what's significant about the indirect and the direct? Direct is somebody who you have face-to-face or perhaps online connection with on an ongoing basis. The indirect people are people that are affected by your service, but you never meet them. Okay, so it may be somebody in another department in your organization. It may, in fact, be the bus driver who brings your staff to work because you never meet the bus driver. But if they did their job badly and they just stopped to have breakfast for 20 minutes while they're supposed to be bringing your staff member to work, it's going to seriously impact your organization. So we call that an indirect customer. So your categories of indirect customers would be ones that are external, so they're outside of your organization. The others would be internal, so those people would be inside your organization. They're providing a service, otherwise they wouldn't be getting a salary, but you never get to meet them, but they're a vital part of the service being provided. And then under direct, you would get the external customer, so the person that you are selling your service to or providing the service to. You would get the internal customer, which would be your staff members. In other words, the people supporting you to provide that service. Now, one of the questions that I find quite interesting is the internal customer any less important than the external one? And I think the answer to that has got to be no, and I'll tell you why. Because you are seeing your internal customer often, especially if it's a direct internal customer, often on a daily basis. Your external customer you might see from time to time. You might not see them for a long time. And in fact, if you have internet services, you might never see them except perhaps sometimes online. But the point I'm making quite simply is that if the example that you set as a leader to your internal customers is powerful enough, what your internal customers are going to do is that they are going to mirror your behavior when they deal with your external customers. But I have another interesting category that I simply want to share with you, and that is the principle of the forgotten customer. So the question is, what do you think is a forgotten customer? Okay, so here it is. Forgotten customer. Forgotten customer is your family. Why is that important? Okay. Your forgotten customer is the person that has to deal with you when you're in a hurry in the morning. The forgotten customer is somebody that gets you when you're tired in the evening after you've done your work. Your forgotten customer is the person that you spend your weekends with. So in other words, it's the person that you practice your customer service on. And what we find, it's certainly been my experience, that to a large extent, the way people treat their families has got a lot to do with the way they treat their customers. By the same token, the way a boss treats his staff is pretty much the way he is going to also treat his customers. So what we're talking about is that our treatment of other people has a lot to do with the kind of person we are. And very often what we need to do is we need to make that decision about the kind of person that we want to be in our dealings with our customers. Okay, so that's the concept of the customer, and the customer being a person with whom one has dealings, not just external, internal is critically important, as is the forgotten customer.